Hi everyone, my name is Abigail Sullivan and I am the Marketing, Communication, and Recruitment Specialist in the Judith College of Education. Before we get started, I would like to thank everyone for joining me today. Although we couldn't be on campus together in person, I still want to let you know that regardless of distance, I am here to assist in any way possible. I understand how difficult the transition from high school to college can be, and that statement is probably more realistic than ever. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me and I am more than happy to help. So normally on experience days or any visit day that we have a packed house in Gillum Hall. We have great representation from our faculty and staff who travel all the way from their homes to come and meet you on the Saturday, as well as our advisors, because it's really important that we do get to know our students one-on-one. Unfortunately, they couldn't join me here today in my home office, so I figured I would give them some airtime, quote unquote, and introduce them to you. So when looking at the faculty and staff slide, I'm right here to the left. You've already heard a little bit about me, but I did want to share that I am from Northwest Ohio. I'm from a very small town. It's actually a village southeast of Toledo called Woodville. Normally when I'm talking to people who are not familiar with the area or from the area, I just say I'm from Toledo. I am a graduate of the University of Toledo. I earned my bachelor's degree in 2017 in communication. Right here in the middle is Dr. Richard Welsh. Not only is he an associate professor, but he is also the associate dean for undergraduate studies in the Judith College of Education. His whole role is to aid in your success. So he's the guy working behind the scenes, helping you get through the doors of Gillum Hall, into your courses, out into the field to teach your students during student teaching, and ultimately across the stage at graduation and into your very own classroom teaching your own students. Dr. Walsh is very dedicated to what he does, and he also has a background in special education. For those students who are watching this who are also pursuing special education, you will more than likely have Dr. Welsh as a professor during your time here. Right next to Dr. Welsh is Johnny Horn. She is an admission counselor over in the Office of Undergraduate Admission, as well as our liaison for the college. So what that means is she's building that bridge between our office and her office. So if we have a student who walks in to undergraduate admission and says that they're interested in education, she gives me a call, and then I'm able to meet with that student and their family one-on-one to give them a more in-depth experience about the college. Next, we have our advisors. So we do have 3 advisors in the college. Right here on the left is Suzanne Garza. For those students pursuing early childhood education and multi-age education, Suzanne will be your advisor. The advisor's role is to aid students in success and place them in the correct courses to graduate on time. So it is super important that you go and see your advisor at least once a semester, once scheduling classes opens, so you're not put in the wrong class, because that could push your graduation time back. And often I hear from students that our advisors are much more than just the people you meet with to schedule your courses. Often they are mentors or friends, or sometimes even listening ears. So that's just an added bonus when you're building that relationship with them, because they really do aid in your success here. Right in the middle, we have Tim Lewandowski, and he is a Toledo native. He is also the advisor for AYA education, adolescent to young adult, as well as special education. And then right here on the end is Melissa Spann. She is the advisor for middle childhood education, and a fun fact about Melissa is she was born in Jamaica and grew up in the Bahamas. You all will have the opportunity to meet your advisor one-on-one when you come in the summer for orientation, and this is the perfect opportunity to begin building that relationship with them. Alright, I want to talk a little bit about the Toledo Education Advantage, specifically 5 aspects that make us a little bit different than everyone else. So first of all, we are ranked and recognized. What this means is we are accredited. So in education, there is an accreditation body known as CAPE that looks at all education schools and pretty much grants their seal of approval for those schools that are doing everything really well. So we do have that seal, and that just tells us that we are scoring in the category of excellence in educator preparation. And then when you're looking up top, you do see 3 badges. We also hold national recognition from 11 professional organizations. So there's many professional organizations out there that look at various aspects of our college and our programs and then give us kudos on what we're doing well. So among those is actually U.S. News and World Report, so we do have recognition from them. Next is educator quality. So when you look at this slide, what do you think of? What comes to mind when you think of educator quality? For us, it is outcomes. It is our number one goal in the Judith Herb College of Education to produce an excellent educator, a great teacher. And we're doing just that. So your next question is probably, well, Abby, how are you doing that? Are you tracking your students? Yes, we are. We're tracking our students in multiple ways, but these are just 3 ways that we can tell that our students are excellent teachers. So most of our students are passing the licensure exam they have to take. At the end of the road, every student who graduates from the University of Toledo and still wants to pursue being a teacher, they have to take the OAE, which is the Ohio Assessments for Educators exam, in order to earn their license as a teacher. So all of our students who are taking that, 89% of our students are passing. And then when we talk about value-added scores, what that means, you guys are probably familiar with this, but a school gets a report card, and that report card ties back to the school, which also is tied back to the teacher, and then that teacher ultimately is tied back to the university they graduate. So the University of Toledo is ranked number 3 in terms of teachers who are earning very high scores in the state of Ohio. So again, we are producing really great teachers who are then sharing their content with their students and making those schools even better than they were before. And then of course, candidate surveys. So the college gives out candidate surveys to aid in continuous improvement within our programs and within the college as a whole. So some of these surveys are conducted by program on topics such as learning success and perspectives of how students are doing and how happy they are. So we take all of this data that's collected and implement it semester by semester to create a better outcome for each and every student that comes through the doors. And then next, kind of like anything that you guys do, practice makes perfect. And in this case, we're talking about student teaching. So we do partner with over 130 different schools. And if you're not familiar with Northwest Ohio and how it's built, there is a diversity of schools and cultures within this region. And we stay within a 30-mile radius when we place our students. So we aim to place our students in a variety of schools so they do have that diverse setting. And when we're talking about year-long placements, that's going to be for our adolescent, young adult, and middle childhood education students. During their junior year, they have one placement, a year-long placement, and then they have another year-long placement their senior year. Their content pretty much is the same. Depending on what grade they're in, it doesn't change a lot. But for our students who are in early childhood education and special education, your content is going to change vastly. So that is why your placements change every semester. You could be in a large suburban school your first semester in pre-K, and then you go to a small charter school the next semester, and you could be in 3rd grade. So you could probably tell how different your content's going to be each time. And then when we're talking about scaffolding, it's kind of like when you go to the gym and say you're lifting weights. You're not going to start bench pressing 300 pounds right off the bat. You're probably going to start with 25 or 30 and then gradually add up until you can reach that 300 benchmark. So that's what we do with our students. We just don't throw them in where they're teaching a full course in front of their students. We kind of, we send them a few days a week, and then they build up where at the end they are teaching a full class and they have complete control over that class at the end. So they're very prepared. And then most of you are joining me today because you are here for one reason, to get an education, and after you get that education, you probably want a job, and you came to the right place. So our students are 100% career ready. We have over a 90% hire rate within the college, and we aid a lot of that placement rate to our You Teach job fair that we host every year in the springtime. So about 80 different schools come in, they conduct interviews on the spot, and sometimes students are even walking out of the job fair with a contract. So they can kind of go through the rest of their senior year stress-free, because they know at the end of it they have a job waiting for them. And that is the norm for a lot of our students. So we really do prepare our students to conduct interviews and get those contracts that day. And then when we're talking about transferability, the requirements for the Ohio license are quite high, which makes it quite transferable. Our alumni are all over the continental United States. So we're talking about they're up in Alaska. We have some in California. We have people up in Michigan. There's a lot of students who stay in Ohio. Some go down south, out to the east, and it just depends on where you want to go and what you want to do with your license. But it's a great opportunity to travel. You're young and you can take your job with you. One thing that I hear from a lot of students when I talk to them, what a huge decision factor was for them, was we are just the right size. So to give you guys a little bit of background, we are the smallest college on the University of Toledo's campus. And when you couple that with a mid-sized state university of roughly 20,000 students, your outcome is an outstanding experience. So in the College of Education, you are not a number, you are a person, and you have a name, and your professors will get to know that name. Your peers will get to know that name. People in the dean's office will get to know that name. So it is very intimate. And what's nice is sometimes you get to go in cohort-based models. So you will travel throughout your time here in your courses with the same people and sometimes the same professors. So again, it becomes very intimate. And when we're talking about class size, for those students interested in early childhood education, which is our biggest program here, you will not have more than 25 people in one of your education courses. And that number is going to be even smaller for somebody interested in special education, because it is our smallest. So that would be a maximum of 12 people. So again, you really get that one-on-one time with your professors and your peers, and it makes it just that much better than some of the other schools out there. All right, that is all I have for you today. I do want to thank you so much for joining me and listening to this presentation. I do want to reiterate that you and your success is the most important thing, not only to me, but every single person in the Student Services office. You have a number of people rooting for you and your success, and that is our number one goal. In the College of Education, is to get you in the door and aid you throughout your time here, your 4 years, to ultimately help you walk across that stage at graduation. So if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I hope to see you this fall. Go Rockets!